right, hello, welcome back to the stream. Today we're going to be making a player death animation because that has been sorely lacking. So how's everyone doing? So before I get into it, for anyone that's new to the channel, I'm working on a game called Gunforged, and it's a 2D arena survival roguelike shooter where you construct your guns out of distinct parts that each can have distinct legendary affix type things. So I'm in debug mode. I've just killed a wave of enemies. I can choose a permanent upgrade for the run, which is a passive. So for instance, I can take this clear nearby bullets on dash. I'll go ahead and take that. And then what I can do is I can choose a weapon part. And you can see that if I were to choose the banana receiver here, I would get the added bonus of bullets tracked to the nearest enemy to the crosshair, as well as keeping my 1 poison stack. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And then if I advance the wave, you can see that this bullet will track to the enemy now. So that's generally how it works. You'll construct your guns in that manner. And I'm going to turn off debug mode so you all can see what it looks like. Hey Grim, welcome to the stream. Hello V, welcome, welcome. So the normal waves are going to be like this. This game kind of borrows from a couple of popular games. So the Vampire Survivors sort of endless hordes with the Brotato timed waves kind of deal. So basically in Gunforged you'll be killing as many enemies as you can during the wave time, and killing more enemies creates more opportunities to get more gold, and then when you have gold you can use that in various ways throughout the game. So after every wave you'll get to choose a passive like I mentioned. So which one am I going to take? I'm going to take the deft reload here, so I can reload both my guns on dash, and then let's reforge a couple of times. Here's a good one. So this one adds 3 affixes: applying fire stacks, applying poison stacks, and bullets piercing through enemies. So I'm going to take that one, and that's going to be really good. And then I'll press the lever to advance, and let's see what happens. So you can see now when I hit an enemy, it gets fire and poison, which is great. So basically, that's the game. So you can wishlist the game now. The link to wishlist is in the description below. So that would help me out a lot, and you'll be able to play the demo for this game, hopefully soon. Hello Derpius, welcome back. Hello Chendrak, welcome back. Yeah, face reveal. I did a face reveal on my last stream, but I deleted it because there was a ton of copyright issues. So hopefully that won't happen again. All right, let's see. I'm gonna reforge. I don't need that one. Let's see. This looks good. So we're getting an extra poison stack plus 2 more. So I'm gonna grab that one. And let's go. So there's a bunch of things that I've been doing recently with the game. Mostly I've been working on adding a bunch of sound effects, which you cannot hear right now because it's really hard to get all the levels correct with sound effects. So you can't hear the sound effects right now, and I won't work on sound effects on stream for similar reasons. So today, what we're going to be doing is adding a death animation for the player, because currently when you die, you just disappear, and there's no feedback or good feedback at all, and the game crashed. So there's that too. So yeah, let's get started on the death animation. And one final thing before we get into that, if you want to learn how to build a game in Godot 4, you can check out my Udemy course. The link is in the description. And yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. All right, enough of the advertisements. Let's get into making this. So I have a boss intro component which plays a little boss introduction. I'm thinking I'll probably just copy this and use it as a model for doing the player animation, because what I'm going to loosely model it after is the death animation in Tiny Rogues, which is the camera just kind of like zooms in and then you explode into a bunch of blood. So we're going to try that. And I already have some code that I think I can use in the boss intro component. Let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to instantiate in here the Rat King, and I'll just show you what the boss intro component looks like. So see how it zooms in and shows him. Still needs a little bit of work, that boss introduction, but I could do something similar for the player, I think. I'll just fight this Rat King boss too, for those that haven't seen it. So the Rat King spawns rats, as well as shooting rat traps in all directions, and also spawns these little mouse projectiles. So that's the boss, one of the bosses that you'll see at the end of the dungeon arena, which is this one. All right then. How is life in general? Life is good. Yeah, can't complain. Having fun at my job, and nothing bad's happening, so that's good. Thank you for asking. How are you all doing? So let's create a player death animation. We'll just make it a canvas layer to start. By the way, how's the audio? Is the audio okay? Like my voice? We're gonna put this into effect. Well, maybe it should be, yeah, let's do a component here. Player death animation component. Oh, I guess we'll just put it in here. Oops. Let's see. Player death animation component. Save. Audio's good. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so what are we going to do here? I'm basically going to copy the visuals here. What is this? Okay. Yeah, probably want to copy all of this now that I think about it. Except for the sound effects. Cool. Let's add a script to this. And in the script, we're going to copy and paste some more. So let's open up that boss intro component. And what do we need to copy here? So there's a lot of really weird code in here. The most important code is the transform. So this update transform function will take, so here's a problem with Godot. Hopefully I can explain this well. So I'm using a canvas layer as the root node. And the reason that I'm using a canvas layer is because it's easier to position UI elements. So in the case of the boss introduction, I want the boss name to appear here, and then I want to animate it. It's easier to do that, to animate UI elements when they're children of a canvas layer, because the canvas layer essentially is separated from the camera's transform. So it's basically stuck to the screen regardless of where the camera is in the world. But if I want to put the Rat King in here somewhere, the visuals, I have to actually transform from the Rat King's global position, his world position, to the position on the canvas layer itself, which is going to be different. So the Rat King could be at, 2000 X and 2000 Y. And if I want him to show up here, then, well, that's going to be a problem, right? So there's this line in here, this visuals transform, which gets the canvas transform and multiplies that by the global transform of the node that we are targeting to show. So in this case, it would be the Rat King visuals. And why this transform works Don't ask me. That's as far as my understanding goes. I took a bunch of different combinations of transforms and multiplied them all together until I found one that worked. So we're gonna pretend like I'm some kind of linear algebra expert and I know what's going on. So, but the point is that this is the valuable piece of code that I need, but I might as well just go ahead and trying to get used to keyboard shortcuts. I don't know how to select everything with a keyboard, so. I know it's Control A, but I didn't want the top part. So let's see. We don't need this display name. Let's get rid of these sound effects players for now. We're going to get rid of... Do we want to get rid of this color rectangle? No, we don't. Probably don't want to get rid of the margin container. We'll get rid of the label for now because the UI structure is going to change. We don't need the delay timer. Why is this an error here? Notification. Is it already... Let's see. Member with the same signature already declared. Oh, I see. Okay. We don't need this delay timer timeout, so I'm going to cut that out. Create sound effects. We don't need this. Get rid of that. Now, there's a bunch of camera tweening in here that is not going to be useful, but we will figure that out later. We don't need this delay timer. Okay. So we've got a good base to work on. Why not decouple the boss from his intro to avoid the position issue? It is decoupled, so what's happening is in the boss intro component, it duplicates the visual nodes and makes them children, but I still need to map those visual nodes that I've duplicated to the boss's position. So in that sense, I have to know what the boss's position is, no matter what. But it's not dependent on the boss itself. It's only dependent on any node 2D that I supply. So in the editor, where's the Rat King? So in the editor, the boss intro component, you can see in here that I've just provided the root node that I want to display, which is this hit flash group component, which is the visuals root, and that I've also supplied individual node paths to each visual that I want to show. So this root node is what I base the position off of, and then the visuals paths that I apply, or that I supply here, are what gets shown. Bit late this morning. No worries, Drufus. Thanks for joining. What is the general theme of your game? Like, do you want it to be gore or adventurous or funny? All of the above. So I want it to be really goofy and like over the top gory and disgusting and just kind of whimsical, but also introduce a bunch of fantasy elements too, like different types of creatures and stuff. So it's going to be basically all of that mushed together. I'm basically just taking all the things that I think are cool or funny and just putting them in the game. It's not going to make, like, thematically, it's not going to make much more sense than it's just a goofy and hopefully fun game. Like, that's literally the only thing that I'm interested in, really. In terms of the theme, it's just, I just want it to be a fun game, just in all aspects. Just, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's fun to play. The mechanics are good. That kind of thing. Do you have an idea of how to add... Do you have idea to add beam weapons? Once I tried to add beam weapons to top-down view game I'm working on, but I forgot that idea because of the Z-index. Oh, that's a good point. Well, what I'm doing is all of my bullets exist on a layer above... They exist on a layer above everything else. So I don't have to worry about Z-index issues. The bullets are not sorted with the Z-index of all the entities. So my main scene here, I've got a telegraph layer, which is where all of the telegraph attacks show up, so they render below everything. Then I've got the floor layer, which is similar to the telegraph layer, but anything that's on the floor layer will render above the telegraph layer. Then I have entities, which is a Y sort enabled node. So all the entities have proper depth and positioning. So this is like your enemies and bosses and player and everything. And then I've got the bullets, which sit on top of all of those things, always. And then I have the foreground, which are elements that are above absolutely everything else. So that's how I would recommend handling it. I don't think you need to be like super technically like accurate with positioning of bullets. I actually think it's probably more important that the player sees the bullets always, even if it wouldn't quite make sense. But that's just my opinion. I mean, if you're going for a different style, then it's possible that that's not going to work for your case. Yes, is everything I'm doing in Gunforge possible in 3.x? It is, yes. I was originally building this game in 3.x. The only thing is that I'm using a lot of 2D lights, and 2D light performance was very bad in 3.x. So one of the main reasons that I upgraded to 4 is for the improved lighting performance. But everything else, I mean, I could have made it work without that. But everything else, yeah, I was doing with 3.x before. Okay, so let's do some coding in here. So I think we're basically going to do the same thing. So we've got these visual node paths here. I'm going to disable this. Inspection, do not show. Thank you. So we've got the same deal here. I'm going to go to my player now and instantiate that. First, let's build so I get those export variables. Yes, thank you. And then we're going to introduce that player death animation component. We'll move this up to the root, I suppose. Or down here is fine. This probably doesn't need to be part of the player, but I just think it's easier to include it here. So the root node is going to be the visuals node here. And then my visual node paths. Now this might actually be a little bit tricky. I may have to do a different... Yeah, I might have to do a different strategy here, because I've got all of these visuals nodes that I want to use. We'll see how it works though. I even wonder... Maybe I don't even use this. Maybe I don't even use the node paths here. I wonder if I just... Let's get rid of this. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate that root node. So var duplicated root is equal to root node.duplicate. I don't know. I think this should duplicate all the children, but we'll see. I might not even want to duplicate either. I might just want to move the player around in the tree, but we'll see. Okay, and then visuals.add child duplicated root. Okay. I don't really know how to start this. I think let's start by removing the shader from that first, and we'll make this black. I'm just going to instantiate the player here so I kind of get an idea. Oh, circular dependency issue. Okay, well, let's do this then. Let's call this label You Died. And I probably shouldn't be worrying about this right now, but I'm going to give this a red shadow color. Oh, that's cool. Wait a minute. I've got a black outline on the text and a red shadow, and that gives it a nice... That's a pretty cool effect, actually. Maybe I'll keep that. Okay. So, in my ready method here, I'm going to say owner as player dot get first node of type health component dot connect health component dot signal name dot died callable dot from on player died. And then we'll put that on player died down here somewhere. And this is when everything's going to get started. Did I do something wrong? Cannot resolve. Did I do something wrong here? Oh, I put this outside of the... I'm a senior engineer, everyone. Can't even figure out which block to put my code in. Okay. So when the player dies, what do we want to do? I guess we just call the create visuals and create camera. What happens in here? So basically all of this happens. So I'm going to copy that as well. So we're going to pause the tree. We're going to set the global position. Okay. Create the visuals, create the camera, update the transform. We don't have create sound effects, so we'll get rid of that. All right, let's see what level of broken this is. I'm going to also change the player health to 1 just for ease of dying. I love the hearts for the health on the player. Myself would add a pixel spacing between them. I tried that. I think I like them being smushed together a little bit more. How much is left on the vertical slice? I will show you in a second. Only thing make use Godot is canvas group. I'm not sure what you're trying to say, Marcos, on the canvas group point. What do you think when people use your games as inspiration for their own games? Has that happened? I mean, it would be... I certainly don't have a problem with it. It's quite flattering if people want to emulate what I'm doing. So I have no problem with that at all. In terms of the vertical slice, let's see. Bring up the... this is Obsidian MD with the Obsidian Kanban plugin. So everything in this to-do column right here is necessary for the vertical slice. So I will just... couple of things. So player death is an important thing. I need to get music for the game. Let's see. See if there's anything else that's really important. Some artwork that I need to do. I need to create a tutorial area, create a screen telling people that it's the end of the demo. And yeah, I've got to do some various menus and stuff. So it's actually kind of all boring stuff that I need to do, with maybe the exception of the player death and some other things, but mostly just like UI polishing. I have all of these sound effects to add still. So it's like, that's probably going to take me weeks and weeks and weeks to get all that in order. And I keep thinking of stuff too. So like, it's 17 items in the backlog today, but it might be 23 tomorrow, you know? So that's how much I have left. But okay, so our player death animation component did not work. And I think it's because the player is being freed, which we don't want to happen. So let's go into the player script. On died, we have this emit signal died. Why do we have the player died here? Is this even being used? Signal name dot died. Interesting. I don't know why. I guess I should probably use that instead. I'm just going to change the form of these signal connections as well. Gun fired plus equals on fired. Okay, so in the player death animation component, you can do the same thing. But in the player, we cannot be, whoops, we cannot be queue freeing the player in here, which I've gotten rid of. And since we're pausing the tree, it should be fine. So let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. Is anyone participating in the Ludum Dare Jam next weekend? Okay. So something's still going on here. So maybe in this create camera, so camera 2D make current, so previous camera. Are there any errors? Let's see. Oh, there's a couple errors here. Let's see. Oh, that's a normal error. I wonder why this isn't working. We're gonna have to debug. The only thing that would make me use Godot 4 is Canvas Group. Oh, yeah. That was another reason why I switched to Godot 4. Yeah, Canvas Group is really, really useful. In my case, because all of the guns are made of 3 distinct parts, 3 distinct sprites, but I wanted to outline them as if they were one group, right? And that was really hard to do in Godot 3. I had to use like a viewport and everything, and that was not great. Am I participating? Yes, I probably will. Yeah. I can't take the full 72 hours. I might do the compo. I've never done the compo before. Although I have to check the rules because I think the compo doesn't allow you to use pre-made sound effects. And I do not have any experience making my own sound effects, but maybe it'll be a challenge. Maybe I'll try it. But yeah, sometimes I take like the Monday off so that I can spend the full 72 hours, but... So why is this not working? Should I just debug this? Gotta figure out why the cameras are broken. All right, so let's take a look at what this previous camera... Okay. Yeah, those all look correct. Is this updating anything? Okay, something's going on here. So when the player dies, it's doing this transition. I don't want that to happen, so we're going to get rid of that. So maybe we can inspect the tree a little bit more and figure out what's going on. I'm switching from Game Maker, so I'll go directly to 4. Yeah, that's a good idea. 4 is perfectly fine, especially if you're not ready to release full game just yet. I should be dying here. So what's going on here? What is going on here? So when the player dies, we're getting into this function here. Background tween. Visuals global. It might be... Let's see what the tree looks like here. Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. I did not set the pause mode on this to always. Okay, now let's try it. Gotta be careful when you're pausing the tree like that. Come on, kill me. All right, now it's working. I mean, it's not working, but there's something happening. So it looks like that visuals duplication didn't work. I'm curious to see what that actually does. So it's calling duplicate here. Do I need to pass in some flags here? Duplicate flags dot. That's probably not working if I had to guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Come on. Comment all those. And then comment the create camera down here. So that way I can see what that tree structure actually looks like when I run the game. Do I live stream the Ludum Dare 2? Sometimes I do. Sometimes. Maybe I will. A little bit. I certainly am not going to do like a like a 24-hour stream, but I might do that. So let's see in here. So in our entities, we've got the player. We've got this player death animation component. Let's see what the visuals look like. Yeah, so it looks like the visuals have been basically duplicated here properly. Where do these things exist at? Position 0. Position 320. Is this visible? It is. I don't even know how I would look around. I guess I can enable the camera. I might have to do this. Might have to do this on the other screen. Oh, I wonder if it's a layer issue. Do I need to turn this? Let's see. Player death animation component. Let's turn the layer up to 2, maybe? I don't know if that's going to update in real time. Maybe it won't. Okay, let's just try it again. It looks like it's duplicating all that node structure correctly. It's just not displaying it for some reason. Why would that be? Oh, you know what? I think it's because this is a canvas group. But I have more canvas groups in that player tree that's being duplicated. So if I change this type to node 2D, maybe it'll work. Okay. Lots of trial and error here. That's how it goes sometimes. All right, come on, shoot me, shoot me. Still nothing. Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. No, never mind. I was thinking because the player becomes invisible when getting hit, like the player flashes to indicate invulnerability. And I was wondering if that was being applied here as well, but it's not. All of these are visible. Wait a minute. Why is this still a... That should not still be a... I thought I changed this type, did I not? Okay. It wasn't changed back away from a canvas group. Did I change the wrong one? Hold on a second. I'm not sure what I did here. Make sure I didn't change the player inadvertently. Okay, no. Seems fine. I just got a little bit confused, I guess. Still not working. Very odd. Both of my projects are inspired by two games, Gunforge and a more recent version of Smack Demon. Floral Frenzy, where you create ammunition using flowers. Each flower has a different ability. That's really cool. Yeah, I like that idea. Insect characters only. Yeah, that's definitely a cool theme. There's not a whole lot of bug-themed games. So what about Gunforged and Smack Demon? Are you taking inspiration from? A lot of people said they liked Smack Demon, which is surprising to me, honestly. I'm kind of baffled here as to what's going on. It seems to me like it should be working. Let's go back to the scene tree. So I've got these visuals. What happens if I... just get rid of those? Is it because the entire player's visibility is off or something? Oh man, I was not expecting to get stuck here, but we'll work through it. There's something about the player. Let's see. So when the player gets hit, this start invulnerability here, it creates a tween that tweaks the visibility of the visuals node. But I actually don't want that. So start invulnerability. Handle hit. Yeah, I'm just going to try this. I'm going to get rid of that start invulnerability, and I want to see if that is affecting how the player's rendered. It very well could be. So let's see. Now, why is the player still disappearing? That's not correct. There should be nothing in here that is causing the player to disappear. Oh, I guess it's the, oh. It's this. I'm changing the modulate of the original root node to hide. So I'm hiding the original player so that it doesn't interfere with the visuals of the animation. And that modulate application was happening before I duplicated it. So if I move it to after, it should work now. I'm going to put this code back. Okay. Let's see if that works. Your face is so much different than what I was imagining in my mind. I hate when that happens. Sometimes I'm just like, to some creators, I'm like, just keep your face to yourself. It's kind of a funny thing. Okay. So that appears to be working because the player is no longer disappearing. So let's add back in all of these things. Probably going to need to reset the scale of the root node to offset any animations that are happening. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. See how it isolates the player? So I can slide a background behind it and the player's still there, right? That's basically why I'm going through all this trouble to set it up and get the transforms right so I can do the rendering the way that I want it to be. And the rest of the tree is paused, which means that none of the game logic is going to break while I'm doing the animation. So I'm basically halting the entire game, doing the animation that I want to do, and then I'll have a little button there that says continue, and then it will free the main game scene and go back to the main menu flow. Hello, Gossico. Hello from Iraq. Well, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Okay. All right, let's see. So I want to do a different animation compared to the boss animation. So I actually want this color rectangle to come down and like bounce a little bit. So let's do that. So the background tween, we want to create tween interval. Hold on, I'm confused already. When I create the visuals, oh, I'm offsetting the position here. Okay. So we want to shift the rectangle up, the black rectangle up. Then what we want to do is we want to send it down. So to vector 2.0 is correct. We want it to out. We want this transition type to be a bounce. And we don't want this. We don't want this because that removes the background tween. We want the background tween, or the background rather, to stay. So now we've got the label. We can worry about the label later, I suppose. I think I want the label to basically do the same thing. So that will come down and then this will do a bounce as well. Yeah, let's do that. So this label tween, let's tween interval. Yeah, we'll keep it there, I suppose. Margin container position is vector2.up times margin container.size. We want to, again, change the position to vector2.0. 0.75 seconds is fine. Let's do out and let's do bounce again. And let's get rid of all of those. Okay, let's take a gander at how that looks. Hello, Nahua. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Nice to see you as well. Ooh, that's looking good. I think it needs to be slower, but I think it's generally got the shape of what I'm looking for here. Let's try that. Let's try that number. Okay, perfect. I'm glad I got it right. Perhaps a beetle gun that shoots beetles that stick to the enemy's body, causing damage. I do have something like that written down. Yeah, I think I have that listed for an enemy type, but a beetle gun would be perfect, I think. Thank you for the suggestion. I have a lot of content to build. Like, aside from making the demo and the vertical slice, I just have like dozens of passives and weapon affixes and weapon themes. All right, that's looking great. That's looking pretty good. Let's see. I want to just look at my animation here real quick. Okay. So I need to reset the scale of every child of the root node. Which means I need to go recursively through the tree. How do anyone know of any built-in way in Godot to get all children, all descendant nodes? I'm gonna look it up real quick. Oh, hey Ghost, I forgot I missed a couple message here. Christian, hi, I bought your course about Godot 4. It's very clear and helped me a lot. Your channel is very inspiring for me. Thank you, Christian. I appreciate your message. And I'm glad that the course is helping you. I understand the nervousness of showing your face. I just started devlogging the creation of my own game engine, but still nervous about filming my face. Yeah, it's more apprehension, not nervousness. I don't want to like destroy my brand. So, but yeah, it is, it can be a little bit awkward at first. Did I read everything? Okay. Sneaky, nope, not yet. What's nope, not yet? Thanks, I took your course and I like it, says Gasico. You inspired me to make a game to Godot Wild Jam. Oh yeah, Godot Wild Jam. That's a fun one. I haven't done it yet, but it looks really fun. Praying Mantis Orchid Enemy. Very cool idea. Praying Mantis might be a little bit above my skill level in terms of art. Oh, how to get the children. Yeah, I might have to write a function to do that. Should we add it to my Godot Utilities library? So Godot Utilities is a C# package that has a bunch of various extension methods and whatnot. So let's add it to the node extensions. Let's do this. Public static list node get all descendants. This node. So we'll create a new list. And then what we basically have to do is we're going to say for each var child in get children. Well, this has to be node.getChildren. Oh, I'll make this a little bit bigger too. There we go. So for each var child node get children, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say result.add range child.get all descendants. Okay. And then we're going to add the child here. So this is basically just recursive here, and then we can return the result. So what's happening is so the root node here, we're going to say get all children of that node. For each child, we're going to call get all descendants on it. So it's going to go and do that loop again. And then we're going to add the child to the result. So if I don't have any descendants, if all I have is immediate children, then this get all descendants is going to return an empty array, which means nothing's going to be added to the list, and which means that the only things that are going to be contained are the immediate children. But if that child has children, then all of those children are going to get added and also have get all descendants called against them. So that's pretty simple. Basic case of recursion here. And yeah, so let's go ahead and increment the version. Add get all descendants. And we're going to commit that. Push it, and then I'm going to tag it git tag v 3.7.0 get push tags. And then in about 10 minutes, that will be available for us to pull into the project. So in the meantime, I'm not going to worry about that just yet. Let's figure out the camera zoom here. So I'm changing the camera zoom, but for some reason I don't, because I still have create camera commented. So let's see what that looks like here. Okay. So that's cool. Why did I get... Wait. Why did it end? That shouldn't have happened. It's got some animations left over, I guess. Nahua, I agree 100%. Absolutely love the Udemy courses. Some of the best out there. Thank you so much. Watch all your past live streams. Well, there's plenty of live stream content. So yeah, hope you enjoy those. Yeah, for anyone watching, the link to the Udemy course is in the description below. So if you're interested to learn how to make a game in Godot 4, you can do that. And you can also wishlist this game, Gunforged. A link for that is also in the description. So let's figure out why this is happening. So it's being freed for some reason, so we're going to get rid of that. Where is this zoom being changed? Right, we don't care about the zoom. We basically don't want this whole branch right there. We don't need that either. All right, let's take a look at what that does. And then we're gonna add a bunch of particles for like the player blowing up. Okay. I don't like how this, I don't know if you can see this, but this outline here, since we're using zoom and we're using a shader for the outline, it's hard to explain, but there's more resolution basically. So this is still a 1 pixel outline. The actual sprite outlines scale in terms of the outline thickness, but the outline that's being done by the shader doesn't. So that's kind of annoying. That's kind of annoying. Wonder what happens if I change this to a canvas group. I don't think nested canvas groups work. I think I keep running into this problem. Yeah, that's what happens when you nest canvas groups. Okay, that's not what we want. Well, let's just start adding some particle animations. I don't like this camera motion that's happening, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of so I'm going to say this. I'm going to say camera target position is equal to this plus this. So this would actually end up being what? 28? Yeah. And then we don't even need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. And we don't need that. And then this can just become camera 2D global position. Global position, thank you. And we can get rid of that. All right, let's see what that looks like. My colleague with whom I'm working on a game made a shader that takes the parts of a character, renders it completely, and only then adds the outline. Yeah, that's something that's similar to what I'm doing. I'm using the canvas group to do that. So the canvas group groups all of the textures that are children together, and then you can apply a shader to that texture itself. This is the one thing, I forgot who mentioned that they were moving from GameMaker Studio. The one thing that GameMaker Studio has that I wish Godot had, there's one thing, and it's surfaces, right? Surfaces, being able to just draw to arbitrary textures and then be able to pull in those textures in the game. Godot has something like this. You can achieve a similar result with a viewport, but surfaces were just so much easier to use in GameMaker, and I wish Godot had something similar. But that's like the only thing that I like better about GameMaker. No offense to anyone that uses it. No idea how he does it. I'm just doing pixel art. What's your game about? Yeah, everyone, if you're working on a game, share a little bit about your game. I'd be interested to hear from everyone. Some things are so easy in GameMaker. Yeah, GameMaker is very easy to use. Honestly, I think GameMaker is probably a better tool for people that are more experienced as artists, because me having a programming background, I was really frustrated by the lack of structure in the coding and the scripting of GameMaker Studio. I felt very limited by that. But having a constrained sort of set of functionality and code style, I guess you could say, is better for somebody that's not super familiar with programming to begin with, right? At least I think that's the case. Who knows? The game is a classic survival game. It's our first project and we're going for that. Awesome. Can't go wrong with classic survival. Okay. Yeah, let's make some blood explosions. I'm just trying to think. I think I screwed up this camera animation. I think I do need it to... Yeah. I do need it to animate, so... We need the camera target to position to be that. We need the camera global position to be the previous camera global position. And then we need to tween.set parallel. And then we need to tween... Oh, we need to tween the position here. Global position, rather. Global position. To the camera target position. Why would I set delay? I don't think I need that. Okay. Survival shooter. Okay. Top down or side scroller. Okay, we're getting there. I think this zoom doesn't need to be so delayed. A lot of trial and error here on the animations. Okay. I think I'm going to increase the animation length for the zoom and for the position change. Just to give it make it a little bit more gradual. All right, now we can start working on the fun part. Let me commit what I have first. Begin work on player death animation. And then we can also update that NuGet package. So let's see. Yep, let's upgrade to 3.7. Cool. And then now that we've upgraded the NuGet package, I can now use this. So I can say for each var node in duplicated root.get all descendants. And we're just going to be careful here and just grab all of the node 2Ds. And then we're going to say node.scale is equal to vector2.1. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that that doesn't break anything. Okay, do we want to change the rotation? Maybe we'll just leave the rotation as it is. Now, particles. So I think I do want to scale the visuals to make like the player blow up and then have a bunch of blood go everywhere. I have some programming experience. I made a friend or foe application for EVE Online in Visual Studio. Okay, gotcha. The game is top down. Cool, cool, cool. Have you seen that? What is that game called? It's like a Escape from Tarkov, but 2D kind of top down. What is it called? Zero Sievert or something? Is it kind of like that? All right, so for the visual scale, gotcha, okay. Let's create another function. Private void. What are we going to call this? Create gore. So what are we going to do with the create gore? We're going to create a tween. Tween.tween property. We're going to tween the property of the... Well, I wonder if it's even worth doing a tween here. Maybe not. I think I might just do an animation player for this one. It'll be easier to see what's going on. We're just gonna put a rat here just for education purposes. So let's create a new animation, just call it default. And the visuals, we're going to basically only need the scale here. Okay, so what are we gonna do? Basically just grow the player. Oh, that's not good. Oh, I see. The visuals node will be moved around, so perfect. Okay, so it's very slight, but we'll see it easier when it's in the game. And then let's create a bunch of particles here. So I'm going to reorder some of these things. Okay. Particles, add child node, GPU particles, 2D. All right then. So we need to bring in the particles animation material here. And then I need to bring in the particles texture. And where does that go? Right there. Let's create, well, first of all, I'm going to turn off interpolation and then create a new process material. And then in here, we need to set the animation offset max to 1. And then we need the initial color ramp. Here we go. Do I have a blood ramp already? I do. So it's supposedly emitting, but I don't see anything. Did I do something wrong? Oh, it's in the corner. That's why. Oh, that's going to be a problem. No worries. I don't want to make the particles a child of the visuals because I'm scaling the visuals and I don't want the particles to be scaled. So I'll just put all the particles under another node 2D and then I'll just move that node 2D wherever it needs to be. All right, so let's go ahead and turn up the explosiveness, the lifetime. Actually, you know what? Maybe we don't want explosiveness. I think I want it to be like a constant stream. Yeah. Okay. Spread 15. It's going to be direction up. We're going to give it a gravity of like 800. Make it like a really violent explosion kind of deal. Turn down the explosiveness a little bit. Let's go even higher. 300, 500. Okay, we have some work to do here. So the angle minimum 0, 360. The scale minimum 0.75 and 1.5. Scale curve. Why did adding a scale curve change the particles to white? Do you see that? Oh, now it's just not going to render. What? That's not good. Well, we'll ignore that for now. Probably need to turn down the lifetime just a little bit. That scale is not happening fast enough, so I'm going to... Interesting. That's really weird. If I add a different color ramp here, that works. How odd is that? As it stands now, it's not much, but we'll see. Yeah, it's gotta, you know, there's a lot of, it's gonna take a lot of time. That's the, games take forever to make. That's the thing about it. Have you ever thought about making a collection of mini games someday? Yes, I have. There's, I'm sure you've heard of that studio called Sock Pop Collective. I think I got the name right. Maybe I don't even know what I'm talking about, but they make like one game per month. I would love to take a period of time where I just try to do the same thing and then just like sell it all as like a bundle, like a Firebelly Games bundle or something. Tarantino's movies, 6 to 8 buckets of blood. Yeah, I want it to be like really over the top. I think that's, I think it'd be really funny. I do need to figure out why this curve texture is for some reason causing, I don't know, that's just odd to me. I'm going to turn down the spread just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to close everything and see. Why is it white? Come on, Godot. Don't do this to me. I need to be able to see my blood. What happens if I just make the gradient? Okay, so if I add a white gradient color ramp, that'll work. That's bizarre. Maybe I should report this issue. I probably should, but I don't really want to take the time to do that. Stacklands is a really good game. Yeah, I agree, Alex. I played it for a little bit. I didn't play it as much as I'd like to, but I enjoyed it a lot. I really just like what they're doing, where a lot of their games are very similar, but it's because they're building up their own library of code and assets and they're just combining it differently in different games. I would love to do the same thing, just like get really fast at making games and just like pump them out. Because I really enjoy doing game jams as well. So I figured if I just did like month-long jams for each game, that would be so much fun. Okay, well, if that's working, then we're just gonna let it work. Let me just check these other properties and see if there's anything else that I want to change. There we go. I think that's looking pretty decent. So what I'm going to do now is I'm basically just going to copy this. We'll probably modify these a little bit. Yeah, those are not going to stay the way that they are, but I just want to get a feel for how this is going to look in game. Okay, so all of these need to be emitting off in the animation player. And I probably need an initial explosion as well as the like fountain. So let's create a new, well, let's keyframe this. So we'll keyframe that and that. And that. Turn these all on. And then at 1 second, we're going to turn them all off. Okay. All right, let's just let's get an idea of what's going on here. So I'm going to create another node here. Private node 2D particles root. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to need to make sorry, 1 second. I just got to figure out what I need to do. I think particles root.global position is equal to visuals.global position. I think that's what I want to do. We'll see. Also, I probably don't want to be calling this update transform while it's not being played. So we're just going to set process to false in the ready method. And then on player died, set process true. Or is that... Yeah. So we don't need that to be processing while it's not visible. Okay, there's a couple of problems. One, I didn't get rid of the rat, so we're going to get rid of the rat. And two, that didn't work. Let's see. I'm pretty sure they make 3D games in GameMaker. It's pretty whack. Oh, they do. That is, yes, that is whack, to use your language. That is, yeah. That's, if they do that, I just, because I remember, I mean, it was years ago, but when I tried to do 3D in GameMaker, it was like really confusing. I'm learning still, so I don't think I'll participate in game jams this year. I do have several prototypes from GameMaker I'd like to recreate in Godot. That's a good way to do it. I would encourage you to reconsider doing game jams, though, even if you don't know what you're doing, because it's a really good way to figure out what's important to know. It narrows down it narrows your focus quite substantially, so that way you have to focus on only the things that matter. You might not end up with a finished game or a game that you're particularly proud of, but it can still be a good way to learn. One of them is about 20% done, and at the time it's slow to do as I'm learning. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I get that. For those that want to learn, I have a Udemy course. Shameless plug, link in the description. Alex says, you have a cool and handy Godot layout, very ergonomic. How did you get to it? I think it was just the default layout has this panel on the right-hand side, and I just thought it was kind of silly to be like dragging resources all the way across to the other side. So I was like, why don't I just, just put these side by side so I can just drag over, the resources to the panel, and then everything over here is just, it's just, I don't know, it just makes more sense to me. I don't know why you would have all of this on the right side where it's separate from your file system. Somebody likes it that way, I guess. Okay. What am I doing? I gotta figure out why these particles aren't working. Gotta figure it out. So I think I'm just putting them probably at the wrong position. Particles root global position is equal to visuals global position. What happens if I say particle root transform is equal to visuals.transform? Is that going to do anything different? Hello, Yvonne Von. Welcome back. Good to see you. Good to see you. I should be dying here instead of fighting. Yeah, that's odd. Okay, let's go see, let's inspect and see where that is. So I'll go to my entities, go to my player, go to my player death animation component, go to my particles root. So yeah, this has the same position. Are these things misplaced? Oh. Wait, that's a, wait a minute. All of these have a position that's the same as the root. Oh no, it's not. Oh, I know what the problem is. You would think, again, it's like I'm supposedly a Godot expert, and yet here I am not understanding basic transform stuff. Okay, they were just not placed at the 0 at the origin of the particles root. That's what was going on. Okay. So now let's see if the blood comes out. Still not. Okay. I'm going to switch this back to particles root global position to visuals.global position. Try it again. That happened to me yesterday, yeah. It happens, I mean, it's like one of those things where no matter how much you use Godot, it's like, that's one of the things that's always gonna bite you on occasion. It's just one of those things that you can easily forget. How's it going, Jack? Welcome to the stream. I'm doing well. Good to see you again. All right, I'm supposed to be dying here, but I'm just fighting instead. All right, let's do another scene inspection here. So the particles root should have the same position as the visuals, and then these should all be 0. Yes. Oh, I'm not. I didn't even tell the animation player to play. Here I am expecting it to work. Jeez. I guess today is just not a good day for me in terms of knowing what I'm doing. So here, play default. All right, let's see if it works now. I caught the laser beam on the side of the screen and figured it out. Oh yeah, that's sneaky. They're white again. They're white again. And also that animation player should not be playing immediately. So there's a bunch of problems here. I'm going to insert another key here. It's redundant because I have a reset track, but I'm just going to do that anyway. They were white again, though. I don't really like this. I wonder if I can reproduce that. I might try to do that just as a little experiment with everyone. Why are those so dinky? That doesn't seem right to me. I guess I just need to make them bigger. Okay. Before I do that, I do want to try this. So I'm going to create a new scene, and I'm going to use a GPU particles. I want to see how reliably reproducible this is. So if I do GPU particles 2D, okay, and I say, let's just take a random texture. Let's emit the Rat King, the old Rat King. Actually, I'm going to delete him. I don't want to see his face anymore. Let's just take this Rat King torso. Okay, and then let's create a new process material. Okay, we're going to give it a initial color ramp of a gradient texture 1D. Okay, so this isn't even working. This color initial ramp here. Something's very wrong. Okay, so when I add a color ramp and then remove it, then it works. Okay. So I've got my black color ramp here. Now if I add a scale curve, Where's my scale curve? It works. Okay. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to why this is happening. Yeah, I have no clue. I've been trying to reproduce that particles issue for a while now so I can open a report, and I cannot figure out how to create the conditions to reproduce it. It just seems completely random. My guess is there's probably multiple different things that can happen that can create the problem. But yeah, difficult to be a Godot expert with all the changes and refactoring with every version. Yeah. You try to replace the render target texture used in Godot 3, hard time. Yeah. I tried to just, it's enough, it's difficult enough to keep up with the new features and changes, and especially the differences between 3 and 4. I don't even know how you would keep up with the source code. Hello, Sajid? Welcome to the stream. All right, well, let's just ignore the fact that these blood particles are white for now. Just pretend that they're not white for me. For a little bit. Okay, and the other thing that I need to do here for the visuals is I need to set it to invisible. Okay, what is going on? Okay, let's see how this looks. So I bumped up the scale of the particles, and we're gonna see what that does. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna put the Rat King here so I can see what's going on. Cool. So I had the keyframe at the wrong spot. So let's see how this goes now. Okay, so it's getting there. I just wish my blood particles weren't white. It's whatever, Godot. Whatever. Doesn't want me to make a game, apparently. I keep having a crash, too, that I've been waiting for it to be fixed for a while. It's a C# related crash. There's a PR out for it. It just hasn't been included in a fix yet. So I can't play my game for like more than 10 minutes without it crashing. Kind of tempted to just build the engine from source myself. Fork the code, merge, get that fix in place, and then merge my own version. Wow, I used all the wrong terms. And then build my own version. All right, we're getting there. I'm gonna bump up this velocity even more. Okay. Hello, Frank. What is this guy using for animation? I'm just using, I don't know if you're talking to me or animation. Yeah, the animations in the game are all done with the Godot animation player. So I draw static sprites in Sprite, and then I animate them with either the animation player or the tween in Godot. All right, so that's looking pretty good, actually. Let's change these blood left. So I'm gonna make this unique. Then I'm gonna copy this and paste it here. So now the side blood particles we're going to make smaller. So we'll turn down, hello cat, you're interrupting the stream. We're gonna turn down there's the cat interrupting the stream. So we're going to turn down the scale and probably the initial velocity as well. That's still a little much. Okay, I think that'll work. Now, why didn't it... Did I copy the wrong one? No. So if I copy this, paste it here. There we go. Okay. Hi, Kat. Yeah. Something the guy I worked with would do, build his own version until 4.1 comes out. That's probably smart. If there's features out there that you need, might as well just get them, right? Oh, you're welcome, Frank. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if you were talking about the animation of the sprites, but I'm glad I answered your question. And welcome to the stream. I'm glad to have you here. Such a cute one. Thank you. Yeah, he's cute. Okay. So let's see what this looks like. Lots of trial and error here. Okay. So it's almost there. I think I need an initial burst explosion as well. So I'm going to copy this and we'll call it blood explosion. And this one is going to be very over the top. It's going to have a high explosiveness. We'll make this unique before I forget. And it's not going to be shooting up that much. And it's going to have a lot more spread. Something like that. That doesn't look aggressive enough to me. I think I might crank the gravity and then make the explosion a lot more. Yeah. I would turn down the velocity min even more to get more spread. There we go. Oops. Do 500 for the velocity max. Okay, and this one is going to be a one-shotter. So let's do one shot. Probably also want to introduce some kind of camera shake when that happens, but we will deal with that when that bridge gets here. So blood explosion. We want to set it to emitting right there. Haha, the fountain. The blood fountain. So this blood explosion, why is the fountain... Did I make the fountain that big for real? I think I just need to turn up the gravity again. I think all of these need to have a gravity of 1200. Let's try it. Yeah, this blood explosion, I think it needs to be much bigger. So that means that we need to crank some numbers. So first of all, we'll add it more particles. Oh, this sphere emission should probably be bigger as well. Yes, okay. And then let's turn this up. That might be too much. Okay. Let's play it in game and see what that looks like. 10 to 15 buckets of blood. Oh, thank you, Farank. Yeah, it is. The Gunforged is available on Steam, so you can wish list it using the link below for anyone watching now or watching the VOD. Be greatly appreciative of that. I'm thinking of switching to C#, but I'm waiting for mobile support. Yeah, that's a good call, yeah. Mobile, and I don't know if web is supported either. I wish the particles weren't white so I could have a better idea of what's going on. But I do think that this blood explosion still needs to be bigger, even. I might even increase the scale minimum and maximum here. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. Add some screen shake, add some sound effects, maybe take a few pieces of the player and shoot them off in different directions. Yeah. I think that this is starting to take shape. Let's see if I can figure out how to get the color to work correctly. That would be nice if I could do that. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't take hours of tinkering to get right. All right, let's see. G dang it. Can I get a G dang it in the chat? Why isn't this working? Let's try this. Make unique. Recursive. You died text should arrive after the animation. Yeah, I'm going to play with the timing of that, and I also need to add a button as well. But that's a good call. Gee dang it. Thank you. Thank you. Man. Okay, I'm kind of tempted to do something radical here. Okay, let me just, let me commit what I'm doing. So let's just commit this. More work on player death animation. Commit and push. So I'm going to close Godot. Actually, this is going to be easier if I do this. So I got Gunforged right here. Let's, can I open this? There we go. I'm going to delete the Godot folder because I think that's where a bunch of cached stuff exists. So delete the Godot folder. Close Godot. Try again. I gave you permission, bruh. Okay. Let's see how badly that screws everything up. So it has to re-import everything.
I noticed the lights were on and I thought you might be home. I wasn't sure.
Okay, that's broken. Oh, goodness. Put my layout back to where it was at least. Maybe that wasn't a good idea. Seems okay so far. It's still white. Okay, there's something very wrong here. I can't have white blood. What do you think I am? Like an Albanork or something from Elden Ring? That's not me. Gee dang it. Thank you. Thank you, Adaton. Welcome to the stream. You could leave the phrase Appearance just renamed to You're Already Dead. Yeah, could do. Classic Windows trick. Welcome Extra Watch and welcome Dula. Good to see you again. All right. What are we going to do about this white blood? What are we going to do? I guess we can just work on the other elements of the screen for now and just deal with the white blood. Maybe we'll do a little bit of a playthrough through the game too, just to take a break from that screen. So I can show everyone who's not so super familiar with the game what's all been done. Okay, that's annoying. Okay, so I'm just going to turn up my health back to where it's supposed to be. All right, let's do it. Let's just do a little chill playthrough of the game. I'm going to try to play as if I was a normal player. So I'm going to try to pretend like all of the things I'm doing are going to be for the first time. So I can do some usability testing. Okay, so the first level, pretty easy. Only 15 or so seconds. Not too many enemies being thrown at me. Okay, I've already got this. Open shop. How do I open the shop? Okay, so I have that on my list actually, is to improve the prompt that's being shown here. But I should probably also change it so the shopkeeper cannot show up on the first wave because you won't have any money. All right, what is this? Okay, choose a passive. Oh, I see. All right, so let's see. So I can choose a passive. Oh, let's do Be the Fuse. I want to create an explosion when the magazine becomes empty. So let's do that. Choose a weapon upgrade. So I can choose one of these or take gold. So let's, what does Reforge do? Oh, interesting. Oh, wow. That's, that worm magazine art is not good. But adds 1 poison stack to enemies on hit. No, Reforge. Okay, here we go. 1 stack of bleed, bullet splits, bullets pierce. Yeah, I think I'm going to take that. Cool. What does that do? Oh, and I've got my explosion happening. Okay, so my build is coming together. Wow, that explosion's powerful. I'm just going to spam the explosion. Yeah, I have to prevent this from being spammed. Probably we'll put it on a 5-second cooldown or something. I'm going to pretend like it's on a 5-second cooldown so I'm not just cheesing it. Okay, another wave down. A little bit more of a difficult wave. Couple of enemies there. Oh, we've got a gun scrambler. What is this? So this needs to be improved too because currently it'll just scramble your current gun. So whatever gun you have equipped. So I'm going to make sure I've got the Moss gun equipped, which currently looks like this. My left gun. So I'm going to scramble it. Oh, it looks like I got an oil receiver, a sniper barrel, and a banana magazine. And it adds oil stacks. So there's the gun. You can see it's made out of 3 different parts. And it adds 2 oil stacks. Cool. All right. Let's see. Where was forbidden to show red blood, so it's white? I think China has rules about that. When developing my Godot game, I really often reopen Godot, usual Godot developer thingies. Yeah, you'd be surprised how many issues are fixed by either closing the scene and reopening the scene, or closing the editor and reopening the editor. Yvonne Fond, why not put a breakpoint to check if the color is white or red when the particles spawn? Because I'm not controlling the color of the particles with code, so a breakpoint isn't going to help me there. It's just, it's something wrong with the editor. Can't wait for the demo of this game. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting into all your hands too. Dragon Bite, thank you so much. Yeah, I hope you have fun with the Udemy course. You can send me DMs or ask questions in the Q&A on Udemy if you have any questions at all. But yeah, let me know how it goes. Kind of want to do that, but because of tutorial heck. Yeah. I understand. All right, so let's see. Next passive I'm going to choose, let's increase my health. Yeah, that sounds good. And then let's see what we got going on here. Reforge. Okay, so these things aren't giving me much of anything. Okay, here we go. Crystal barrel. Ooh, I can have fire and oil. I wonder if there's an interaction there. I'm going to take that. So fire and oil at the same time. And it shoots bananas. Yeah. All right. And so here's my passives. I can view my passives on this screen here. All right. Is this another gun? Oh, no, I used that already. Okay. All right, let's see. The bananas that are applying oil. Oil and fire. It basically stops things in their tracks. That's pretty cool, actually. Got some artifacts from Godot. Some shader issues are causing like black rectangles to show up on the screen sometimes. Gotta keep my eye out for health. There's a health right there. Oh, I just got hit again. Okay. What do we got going on here? Let's see. Oh, I can do another increase health. Imaginary friend, summon a phantom gun that deals 50% DPS of your weakest gun. Or zap. Oh, this is a tough choice. I think I'm feeling good on health right now. I want to do imaginary friend. I like having little AI followers, so let's see what that does. Okay, what we got here? Reforge a couple times. This removes an oil stack but adds poison. So I don't know about that one, so let's reforge again. No, I think I'm going to keep my current configuration. None of these are particularly good, so I'll take the 10 gold instead. And there's my little phantom gun right there with a little phantom effect. Oh, thank you, Extra Watch. Thanks for taking the course. All right, so let's see if I can make it through. And the game crashed, so that's a problem that I'm dealing with currently. Hopefully it'll be fixed by the next bug fix release, but... All right, Alex, let's see. A bit of feedback. It's a bit odd to see the shadow of a glowing projectile. Have you thought about making the same component, only instead of shadow, make it lighting the appropriate color? That's an interesting idea. I could do that. The problem is that all of my shadows are being drawn to a canvas group, and then having their opacity turned down, and so I don't really have fine control over the colors of the shadows. I could probably come up with a different strategy specifically for shadows that have colors, but it's not something that I would probably handle soon, right? That would be like a icing polish thing that I would do. But it is an interesting piece of feedback. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that, and I'll consider it. I want to be able to get a gun without a magazine and just whack enemies with it. Yeah, the problem is, like, I want to introduce, like, melee kind of style weapons and stuff, but the problem is, like, all of the affixes and passives are built around the assumption that there's projectiles involved. And so I could do things like, in Tiny Rogues, the melee weapons are still weapons that shoot projectiles. They just have a shorter range and oftentimes cover a larger area, and they're called melee. So I might do the same thing. I might have a gun that's melee, but has a very small range, so you have to get right up on people. How do I implement the floating text system that shows the health increasing? It's very simple. I just have this floating text manager here, which is an auto load node, so it gets loaded up at the beginning of the game. And I've got a couple of static methods in here that I can create the floating numbers. So I can say spawn text float, and then here's my arguments. which are color, position, spawn radius, all that kind of stuff. And then this script handles adding that to the appropriate. Does it add it? Yeah, it adds it to the foreground. So this handles adding it to the appropriate node. And the text float itself is a pretty simple scene. It's just a center container with a label, and then it has a node 2D as the root so that I can move it pretty easily in the world and scale it and all that stuff. That's it. So for those kind of things where you need to be able to spawn text from anywhere, basically, I usually create an auto load node, and then since I'm using C#, I create static methods, so I can just call like, hey, create this floating text from any context wherever I'm at, right? How do I solve those shader issues? Or do I rely on Godot updates? That's what I do, yeah. I rely on Godot updates. I don't have the capability to fix those. Like that crash that happened that ruined the run. I don't have the ability to fix that. There's a PR out right now that I could technically go and grab that version of the code and build it myself and then run it myself. But that's just a whole like extra set of work that I have to do, right? So I'm just kind of like banking on it being fixed by the next bug fix. But if it's not, then I'm going to have to probably do something like that where I build the engine myself. The black artifact, well, the black artifact shows up when these errors come up. Uniforms were never supplied or set, or uniforms were never supplied for set 3 at the time of drawing, which are required by the pipeline. And this is in the drivers Vulkan, rendering device Vulkan, C++. So I don't even think there's anything I can do about that. For a melee gun, you could make an electromagnetic gun that shoots a short-lived high-damage pulse of electricity that knocks enemies back. That's a cool idea. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. All right, let's continue on the player death animation component. Before I do that, I do need to go take a quick 1-minute break. So, yeah, if you're interested in this game, if that gameplay looked cool to you, you can wishlist Gunforged. Link is in the description. And there's a Udemy, Godot 4 Udemy course that I've made. The link for that is also in the description. So check those out while I'm gone for about a minute or a minute and a half, and we'll be back to continue work on the player death animation component. All right. I'm back. Welcome back to the stream, everyone. All right. So, let's continue work on the player death animation. So, somebody, apologies, I forgot who said this, but suggested to make the "you died" come up much later in the animation after the death plays, which I do want to do. So, let's figure out how we're going to do that. Hey, Kat, you're ruining the stream. Oh, animals. Okay. So here, I think I just need to set this to delay a little bit more. So tween interval 1.5. And let's give that a shot. Oh, I need to set the player health down a little bit more too. Okay, we'll just sit through the 3 hits real quick. Oh, he died instantly. You died. Okay. I wasn't really paying attention to the animation there. There should also be like a pool of blood left over. Cats never ruin anything except maybe curtains or sofas. That's true. I have a chair in my living room that is, let's just say it's classic what happens to chairs when cats get to them. Let's see. Can you not make the death animation start when you start playing? I suppose I could. Is there a way I can do that? Yeah, I can do that. Good thinking. The problem is I might need to bake in a little bit of delay. Yeah, I might have to do a little bit of a delay here. So I'm going to do override async void. And then I'm going to do await this dot timer 0.5. And then, so we're just going to give it 0.5 second delay. And then let's see. There we go. Good call. Good thinking. Let's see. How about, well, let's see. Yvonne says, on the menu that shows the DPS, fire rate, all that, why not put gauges under the numbers for a better visualization of the stats relative to the max? There is no max. That's the problem. Oh, who's throwing emojis in the chat? That's awesome. So there is no max is the problem, Yvonne. So everything continues to scale as the waves go up. So the enemies scale in terms of health, and the weapons you do scale in terms of damage. And the reason why everything scales continuously is because I want to encourage the player to consistently change up their build. So I don't want there to be a case where you get really good rolls on the 3rd wave and then you're just sticking with that game for the rest, or with that gun for the rest of the game. I want that gun to only be viable really for maybe 5 more waves at most, until you start feeling the pressure of having to upgrade it. And the point is that it's not like the point is that I want it to be constantly changing, constantly evolving, constantly making new combos and stuff. And so that's why there's no upper end when a weapon is generated. The stats that it's generated with are dependent on what the current wave number is, and then it generates on a range that's a normal distribution. So that's why I can't show like the relative strength. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question or your suggestion. All right, so let's see. What was I doing? So is that animation looking good in terms of timing? Let's see. Maybe wait a little bit longer proportional to the math in terms of the current wave. I could do that, yeah. The thing is, though, I guess the problem is because I'm using a normal distribution, there is no upper limit, right? It's just very statistically unlikely that you're going to hit certain numbers. But I guess I could indicate like a relative strength, right? Like, is this good or is this bad relative to what the median is and all that stuff? The other thing that's interesting is that I'm not... all of my base values, the numbers can't drop. The way that I've set it up is the numbers can't drop below the base values. So if I say this magazine has 5 bullets, it cannot generate fewer than 5 bullets. It can only generate more than 5. So I'd have to like figure out like what is the median or average generated amount. So let's say it's 7. And then I have to say, well, 5 is bad and then 8 is good, which is doable. Yeah, those are kind of the challenges that I'd have to work out. So I think this is good. I think I'm going to increase this "you died" text a little bit, 1.5 maybe, because it's falling down just a little bit too fast. That's a little bit too slow. So let's do 1.25. Okay. So now we need a button to come in, or maybe there should be some stats or something. I wonder what happens if I slightly reposition this. So if I put the player in the center and then have the "you died" label here, instead of it being at the end, we'll make it at the center and then shrink begin. Like so. Yeah. And then we'll put the player at the center. We'll leave this little vector 2 up offset, but otherwise, yeah, let's see how that looks. Okay, I think that's probably a little bit of a better setup. Just tweaking some positioning numbers here. Oh wait, no, this needs to go up more. Put the player closer to the bottom of the screen when it zooms in. Perfect, and then we can put like a pool of blood here or something, and then the button at the bottom. Let's add the button. So I'm going to duplicate this margin container. What is this? Close that. There is no better way to tweak it. I mean, I could do export variables, but I still have to run the game to test it because it's not an animation player. It's a tween, and tweens are like purely code defined. And if I defined export variables for it, I would have to change it. Because let's say that, I had an export variable here to determine this amount of time, but then I decided, nah, actually, I don't want this at all. Well, now I've just made my export variable obsolete, right? So believe it or not, this is the most efficient way to edit the tweens. Okay, let's create a button. What about rotating the player to lie down after the particle's animation and before displaying the text? Well, the player is exploding into a pool of blood, so there's nothing for the player to lie. You know what I mean? There's nothing left of the player. Where is, yes, shrink center, shrink end. Hello, Zed. Welcome back. Or have you been here before? In any case, welcome to the stream. I don't like this button. I gotta fix this button. It doesn't look clean enough. Why not use an animation player instead of a tween? Because I'm not dealing with known positions, right? So this is known, I suppose. Like I know I need to move the label tween to vector 2.0, but with a tween, I can also get the nice bounce transition type without having to manually animate that. But in the case of like the camera, I don't know where the camera is supposed to be, so I can't animate that with an animation player, right? Tweens are particularly useful for animating things between two positions without knowing ahead of time what those two positions need to be. And it looks like I forgot to bring my water, so BRB real quick. All right, got my water. Make parts of him go in every direction. Yeah, basically, yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. I did comment on a video of yours. Okay, I thought I've seen your name before. Well, in any case, welcome to the stream. Glad you're here. So, yeah, so we got this button, and this button is going to be animated as well. Margin container, button, margin container. Okay, and then what do we need to do? So in these visuals here, I'm going to cheat and copy these things. One problem with tweens is that there is a lot of redundancy and verbosity. So the button tween. Oh, you know what I need to do as well? Why am I doing all this instead of just setting... Let's get rid of this. Whoops. Oh, wait, did I do that right? Whatever, we'll get rid of all these individual visibility sets here, and I'm going to say visible equals true here. Perfect. And then what? Right, and then I gotta take that button margin container here, and I need to set the position is equal to vector2.up times button margin container dot size. Okay, got to make sure to rename this to button tween. And then we're going to tween interval 2 seconds. We're going to tween the property of the button margin container. Position vector 2.0, ease type out, and then we're going to use the transition type back. All right, let's take a gander at what that looks like. Oh, I did this wrong. Almost got it right. This needs to be down. What does the node do? Make it automatically a node export. Yeah, so, oh, Dula, yeah. Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you hung out for a little bit. And enjoy the rest of your day or evening or, yeah, whatever. The node attribute, it uses a reflection to automatically assign the nodes. So basically, as long as the name matches of the member and as long as the name matches of the member and the node in the scene tree, it will find it and automatically assign it. So like here, if I put a node and then I say private margin container, button margin container, then reflection is going to automatically look for a node called button margin container with different casing and stuff, so it matches across a couple of different situations. And then once it finds a match, it automatically tries to assign it, and that's it. So I don't need to do all the get node work. And I can also supply in here as an optional argument a node path. So I could say like sprite slash, you know, GPU particles or whatever. But if I don't supply it, then it just uses name matching. I've enjoyed your composition video a lot. Thank you. Yeah. Been wondering if you've got a Discord server or something. I do not have a Discord server. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. It's your second stream? Nice. Yeah, I remember you. Sneaky. Sneaky? So this button animation, I think it's okay. I think I just need to change it a little bit. Yeah, so it's a little bit too quick to come in. And then also maybe turn down the animation length, and then for the padding here, the margins, maybe make it 32 instead of 64. Yeah, that's decent. I think that's decent. I might, yeah, I can't decide if I like. I just gotta keep watching it and see. That button is throwing me off because it's ugly. I gotta redo the button. There's also nothing else here, so I think that's kind of throwing me off as well. I wish my particles were not white. That would be good. Yeah, I have no clue how to fix that, to be honest. I could do... What happens if I don't put a color ramp? Will one of these be red now? Nope. Yeah, that's just, it's so frustrating that this is not, that this color is not working. Maybe it'll be fixed in the next version. All right, Zed, thanks for stopping by. Thank you, thank you. How did you get the node thing to work as an extension? Yeah, it's my Godot utilities. Let's see. I'm going to bring it up. GitHub. Godot utilities. Here it is. So it's this repository here that I created. So you can go to it. You can just add Firebelly Godot utilities to your CS project. And then, yeah, you can leverage the node attribute. And you can see what it looks like here, child node attribute here. And this is the code that actually finds the, uses reflection to find the node. Cool. All right, then. So that's that. I wish I knew what was going on here. Just remove the yellow pixels. Perhaps, I think it just needs to be overhauled. But I'll try that first. Yeah, I don't know what to do about this. I don't know what to do. What do I do? Well, I can make the continue button work. So let's just get that done. Node private button. Continue button. Continue button dot pressed plus equals on continue pressed. Now this is going to have to go to like a main menu, but I don't have a main menu yet. So instead, I'm going to go to my main script here. We're going to get rid of this. Paste it in there. And we need to change this to async. So it's going to... We actually don't need this. So it's basically going to reset the scene when I click continue. Why would I make that? I don't want to make that static. Okay. All right, let's see if that continue button works now. Face reveal real. Yes, mics. Will changing the modulate of particles root have an impact on child particle nodes? Oh, I could try that. What about setting the base color of the particles to red? Currently it's white. Yeah, I mean, the red is not going to do anything. Okay, so the reset doesn't work because I need to turn paused off. What is this? So I can do this, okay. Transition to scene. I'm gonna add an async modifier here, and I'm gonna say await, and this needs to return a task. Await instance.toSignal. Instance that screen transitioned halfway. So I gotta unpause it after the transition happens. So I can say await transition to scene, and then I can say get tree dot paused equals false. I think. Maybe I can't. That might throw an error actually, but we'll see. Okay, it didn't. It worked. Cool. So yeah, so now the game is being unpaused. And now I have a proper loop, death loop going in. So that's good. So let's see. Let's go to here and we're going to try a couple things. So the player death animation component. So we've got blood here. So I've got this color. So if I set this color to red, it'll be red, but it won't use the colors that I choose. So see how it's red? And so now if I go into the game and I let that play out, it will be red. It's not using the colors the red ramp that I chose, right? So the problem is that it's not using the ramp. Not necessarily that I can't control the color. And if I get rid of the color ramp here, then it's just white. So that's a problem. Now, presumably I could use a color ramp here instead of this initial ramp. But maybe not. So the other solution was, or the other suggestion was to change the modulate. So I'm just going to change the modulate randomly here. And that's just going to make blue, I think, but let's see. I suggest you have been gunned instead of you died. Oh, that's, yeah, something like that might work. Hello, Marcio. I think I missed your comment. Welcome, welcome. Sorry, I missed when you showed the extension. Is it public for people to use? Yes. Okay, good. You found it. Yeah, okay. Cat Real, yeah. So that's just, yeah, I can't, there's nothing I can do playing with the colors here. It's just flat out broken. There's no workaround. I've spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out both how to reproduce this issue and then also how to fix it. And there's just no way. It's a fundamental issue with particles that needs to be fixed by the engine maintainers. I would try to fix it, but I do not have the appropriate knowledge of how the particle system works to be able to do that effectively. So I'm kind of stuck. Yeah, I'm just stuck, that's all. I'm just going to try one more thing. I'm going to try reassigning all these colors. Will the stream be recorded? Yes, it will be available in the live section on YouTube after it's done. So you can definitely check that out. Okay. There's obviously more that can be added to this. I got to fix the button. I want to do like a pool of blood, but I don't really want to work on the particles anymore while the colors aren't working. And I can add like stats and stuff as well so that, you know, you can see how many enemies you killed, but I don't have any information set up for that yet. So I'll probably redo the button at some point. But I think I'm just gonna have to leave this as it is, unfortunately, until I can figure out how to fix that particles issue. Okay, so let's commit this. So let's see. Let me make sure I don't have anything in my player that's concerning. Yeah, we need to change that to 3. Okay. Work on a player death animation. All right, let's do another playthrough. Did that not push? Dang it. Let's do another playthrough. Now that we've got the death animation in place. Oh, I forgot to... Oops. Need to undo this test code. All right. You're welcome, Dragonbite. Why did I choose to do this Godot 4 Udemy tutorial in GDScript? For the simple reason that there's a larger audience for it. When most people are picking up Godot, they want to learn GDScript first. So basically just a market decision. A lot of people have been asking about me doing a C# tutorial though, so that will probably be the next one. Again, I get the shopkeeper, but I don't have any gold. All right, let's see. Let's take Zap here. Let's reforge a couple times. All right, here we go. Bleed. Oh, yes, give me that. There's another bug too, which is that I can buy health globes from the shop when I don't even have the money. So we should fix that. I wanted to search for a solution, some forum talk, but find one page with the same issue, and there's your comment. Yeah. Are you talking about the GitHub issue? My comment was basically like, hey, look at this issue I'm having, but I don't know how to reproduce it. Okay, bye. This looks awesome. Thank you, Dev. I appreciate that. Dev Seb. I'm glad you like it. I'm really hoping to get a demo out for you, because it's, you know, one thing if it looks good, but I also, you know, I got to get feedback from you all on how it plays and all that stuff. Let's choose Imaginary Friend. I love the Imaginary Friend. It's one of my favorites. All right, let's see. Sniper barrel, let's see. Okay, yeah, we'll probably put the sniper barrel on this one. So let's grab that. Okay, let's go. So we're on wave 3. Hopefully we don't get any crashes. I'll try to stay away from weapons that... Oh, there's a health up there. I took damage to go get the health, which is not good. I'm going to try to stay away from guns that shoot too many bullets at a time, because that's when the crash mostly happens. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Clear nearby bullets on dash. Yeah, I'm going to take that one. That's a good one. And let's see. Fire rate increases. That's okay, but I would probably only take that if it increased my top line DPS, but it doesn't. So I'm going to reroll. This one does increase my top line DPS and gives me oil and 2 poison stacks per hit. The bone receiver. So I'm going to take that. Take that bone receiver there. And let's continue. Ooh, look at that. Look at that fire rate. Oh, there's a spider centaur. Those things are nasty. So you'll notice how the rats, the typical just rat enemies, they have like 70 health now, but on level 1, they only have like 10. So there's a lot of health scaling going on. The enemies are getting gradually more difficult. I guess more difficult is not the right answer. They're getting more health, but as long as you keep up on your weapon upgrades, then they're pretty easy to kill, as you can see. They're only really going to become a problem if you refuse to upgrade your weapons. And that's kind of like what I want to happen, right? Like if you're taking forever to kill enemies, that's what I want to be the case, because it'll force you to upgrade. Yeah, it's the 18th of January, yeah. Yeah, that's mine. Looking forward to the C# Udemy course, yeah. As soon as I'll probably do another course when Gunforged is done, which is probably not going to be for quite a bit. Still, many more months at least. Do Gunforged and then do another course and then probably start on another game. Anyone played Battle Brothers? I've been really into Battle Brothers recently, and I just want to make like a turn-based strategy combat game that's about building your necromancer army. I want to do that so bad, but I have to finish Gunforged first. Are you able to create mobile apps with C#? Or is it limited to desktop? You can with Godot 3. Yeah, if you do C# with Godot 3, you can do mobile games. Not with Godot 4 yet, although that's coming. Okay, so here's a problem. Yeah, so here's a problem. So I forgot if I have a weapon that imposes blood stacks, and I want to see, but I can't in this screen. So I need to write that down. So give player ability. Here, I'll just put it on this screen, I guess. Whoops. So give player ability to see weapons or to leave upgrade screen in order to see weapons when choosing passives. Let's make this a UI. Okay. I think I do have a weapon that imposes blood stacks, so I'm going to take Blood Torrent. Oh, wait. That's not even correct. Oh, well. Blood Torrent is an effect that applies bleed to all enemies on the screen when you get hit, when you take damage. All right, let's see. We got another fire stack here. Worm barrel. Yeah, might as well take the free extra affixes there. Although that's creating a lot of bullets, so. And it's also got a very odd pattern. I have to like aim slightly to the side of enemies to hit them with that gun. Oof. If you guys have any feedback that that you notice or that you see while I'm playing, feel free to drop it in chat. I always like the feedback. I may not implement the feedback, obviously, but I'm really curious to hear what everyone thinks about what you're seeing. I'm more curious to hear about what everyone thinks when you play it, but it's almost there. So for the demo, it's basically going to be the first 10 waves. So you'll get to play through the dungeon environment, which is this one that I'm in currently. And then you'll be able to beat the Rat King boss at the end. And that will basically be the demo. All right, let's see. Berserk. Deal 25% increased damage per 1 missing health. I'm going to increase my health. Yeah, that's a good idea. Reforge. That moss, or that worm magazine is so messed up. Do I want bullet tracking? Yeah, I think I do. I'll take that. I'll take the bullet track right there. All right, let's go. Wave 6. Hopefully I don't crash. Oh, and I've got worms now too. Look at those worms. Oh, gargoyles. So there's the new enemy that we developed. And it crashed. No! Here, I'll show everyone the gargoyles here. So if I run this. Oh, I have the Rat King here too. Okay, so there's the gargoyle. So the gargoyle shoots these globs that then explode. And the thing about the gargoyle is that it leads you. So if you just keep running straight up, oh, that one was off, but it will predict where you're moving and it will throw the globs at where you're supposed to be. So it's kind of annoying. It's the purpose of the gargoyle is to break up the player movement. So like if you keep moving in the same pattern, it's sort of designed to disrupt that. So you can see it in action there. Although it seems to be leading just a little bit too much. But I guess it doesn't need to be perfect. Did I screw something up here? I think that was working. Oh well, it's not worth worrying about just yet. So the initial color ramp is useless. Well, it shouldn't be. That's not how it's supposed to work. So if you should move the gradient from the initial color ramp to the color ramp. Now I don't think that's going to work because the color ramp, it's essentially a modulate. So if I use those two things in conjunction, they're not going to work together. So if I go here and I say, here's a color ramp. I made it the same set of colors, right? This will work. This color ramp will work, but this is different because this is the color over time. So it will start this bright color, and then it will become, I don't know if you can see that, but it will become the dark color towards the end of its lifetime. So that's not what I want. I want it to choose a color, which is what the initial ramp is for. I want it to choose an initial starting color and keep that color, but I can't accomplish that. The color ramp then overrides it, right? So it's just the color initial ramp is supposed to be used by itself. For a shader material, let's see. To have a visible effect, yeah. So I think this is supposed to be able to be used by itself. Maybe there's something wrong with the logic in the Godot code base about when to use the initial ramp. But I can't use the color ramp and the initial ramp together to achieve the result that I want. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, though. I watched you creating the gargoyle. Yeah, I think I still want to redo his art a little bit, but he's fine for now. So what was I going to do? There was one thing that I wanted to do. Oh, I want to fix the worm gun. So here, see how this magazine has like all of these extra, I put these on the wrong layer. So I need to cut those, whoops, cut those, then put it on the receiver. Okay, and now I can do this, export or scripts, export layers. And now when I go to the worm magazine, it should be fine now, yeah. So that's all fixed up. Let's commit that really quick. What is this change? Oh yeah, okay. Fixed worm gun. Commit and push. Cool. All right, I think, let's see. Yeah, I think that'll be it for the stream today. So 2.5 hour stream. Not bad, not bad. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it will be available on my channel in the live tab. So if you want to go back and watch the beginning. If you're interested to learn how to make a game in Godot 4, you can check out my Udemy course. The link for that is in the description below. And also, you can wishlist this game, Gunforged, on Steam. The demo should be coming out relatively soon. So yeah, I think that's it. So thanks for hanging out, everyone. It was really fun. Thanks for all your suggestions. Thanks for working with me. And yeah, I hope I'll see you all in the next one. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.